Imagine you've had a long day, you're tired, you don't feel like cooking, and you just want something quick, warm, and comforting. You open the pantry, grab a packet or a cup, add some boiling water, and within minutes you've got a hot, savory meal ready to go. That's the magic of instant noodles, one of the greatest food inventions of the modern era. Whether it's ramen, cup noodles, or any of the dozens of flavors lining grocery store shelves, instant noodles have become a staple not just in Asia, but in homes, college dorms, and workplaces across America. They're fast, cheap, and satisfying. But behind this simple dish lies an incredible story of innovation, cultural impact, and industrial mastery. By 2023, the global instant noodle market had already reached a staggering $57.4 billion, and it's projected to surge to nearly $91 billion by 2032. That growth tells us one thing: people can't get enough of them. From Nice and Cup noodles to Maruchan, these brands dominate grocery aisles, fueling late-night cravings and quick lunches for millions of people. But how did a humble packet of dried noodles turn into one of the most successful food products in history? Let's dive deep into the history of instant noodles, explore their incredible rise, and uncover how factories churn out billions of packets every year with astonishing speed and precision. The story begins in post-war Japan. After World War II, the country faced massive food shortages. People lined up in the streets for bowls of freshly made ramen, but supplies were limited and production was slow. This was when Momofuku Ando, a Japanese entrepreneur, had an idea that would forever change how the world eats. He observed the long lines of hungry citizens and realized that Japan and, perhaps, the entire world needed a cheap, easy-to-make meal that could still be filling and comforting. Ando spent months experimenting in a tiny shed behind his home. He tested different flours, seasonings, and cooking methods, constantly searching for a way to make ramen noodles that could be preserved without spoiling. Finally, in 1958, he discovered the breakthrough: flash-frying pre-cooked noodles in oil. This process removed moisture, preserved the noodles, and allowed them to be stored for long periods without going bad. The result was the world's very first instant noodle product, chicken ramen. It came with seasoning and required only boiling water, giving people an affordable meal in minutes. The success of chicken ramen was immediate, but Ando didn't stop there. He knew that convenience could be taken even further. In 1971, he launched cup noodles, instant ramen packaged in a heat-resistant styrofoam cup. Now, all people had to do was add boiling water directly into the cup, wait a few minutes, and enjoy a hot meal without needing pots or bowls. This invention was revolutionary and changed the way people thought about quick food. Cup noodles became a global hit, especially appealing to busy workers, students, and travelers who needed something filling and fast. Soon, instant noodles weren't just a Japanese phenomenon, they spread across Asia, then to the United States, Europe, Africa, and Latin America, becoming a worldwide staple. For many American college students, instant ramen became synonymous with survival food. Cheap enough to stretch a budget, but tasty enough to eat night after night. But how exactly are instant noodles made? The process may seem simple when you open a packet, but inside factories, it's a fascinating blend of food science, engineering, and mass production. It all begins with the most important ingredient: wheat flour. Huge silos store tons of flour, which is then carefully measured and combined with starch, salt, and other additives to help with texture and flavor. Water is added, and the mixture is churned inside giant industrial mixers, transforming dry powder into smooth, elastic dough. This dough is then allowed to rest in large tanks for around 30 minutes, which is crucial because it gives the gluten time to develop, strengthening the structure and improving the bite of the noodles. Once the dough is ready, it's rolled into thin sheets using massive rollers. The sheets pass through a series of machines that gradually flatten the dough to the desired thickness. From there, slitting machines slice the sheet into thousands of long, thin noodle strands. These strands are then carefully waved and folded into the familiar curly shape we all recognize. The wavy texture isn't just for looks, it actually helps the noodles cook faster and absorb broth more evenly, enhancing the flavor experience. After cutting, the noodles move down the production line where they're portioned into blocks or cups. Now comes the critical step that makes them instant dehydration. Depending on the brand and product, noodles are either flash fried in hot oil or dried with hot air. Flash frying is the original method developed by Momofuku, Ando, and remains the most common. The noodles are plunged into oil heated to about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, where they fry for less than a minute. This rapid cooking drives out moisture while coating the noodles with a thin layer of oil, giving them a longer shelf life and the ability to rehydrate quickly in boiling water. Air-dried noodles, on the other hand, skip the frying step and instead pass through long tunnels filled with heated air. These tend to have less fat and are often marketed as a healthier option. Though they take slightly longer to cook, once the noodles are dried, they're cooled and inspected for quality. The next step is packaging. For packets, the noodle blocks are dropped into plastic pouches along with seasoning sachets containing dehydrated broth powder, soy sauce, or flavor oils. For cup noodles, the noodle blocks are placed directly into styrofoam or paper cups, and small amounts of dried vegetables, meat, or seafood are added before sealing. The packaging is carefully designed to keep out moisture and air, ensuring that the product stays fresh for months or even years. Every packet and cup is coded with batch numbers and expiration dates, and quality control teams check samples to make sure texture, taste, and safety meet strict standards. It's worth noting that instant noodles aren't just about plain broth anymore. Over the decades, the industry has expanded into endless varieties. Spicy Korean ramen, rich Japanese, miso ramen, seafood-flavored cup noodles, and even fusion flavors like cheeseburger or curry ramen exist today. In the United States, brands like Maruchan and Top Ramen dominate store shelves, while global favorites like Nongshim, Samyang, and Indomie have built massive followings among noodle lovers. The creativity never stops. Food companies are constantly testing new recipes to capture changing tastes and trends. The cultural impact of instant noodles in America can't be overstated. They became a rite of passage for college students, a comfort food for late-night cravings, and a go-to snack for busy families. At the same time, they've inspired chefs and food enthusiasts to elevate them, adding fresh vegetables, eggs, meats, or spices to turn a simple packet into a gourmet-style meal. Restaurants across the U.S. now even serve fancy ramen bowls, some of which are inspired by instant ramen but crafted with fresh ingredients, proving how deeply this invention has influenced American food culture. And then there's the sheer scale of production. Factories can churn out hundreds of thousands of packets per day. Automated lines ensure efficiency, from mixing and rolling the dough to frying, drying, and sealing. The process is so finely tuned that it's almost like watching an orchestra of machines playing in perfect harmony. Each packet that ends up in a grocery store has gone through dozens of precise steps, all designed to ensure the same taste and quality every single time. What started as a solution to food shortages in post-war Japan has now become one of the most popular foods on the planet. Instant noodles embody convenience, affordability, and comfort, making them a true culinary icon. Have you ever wondered how that comforting pack of instant noodles sitting in your pantry is actually made? It's the food that's there for late-night cravings, tight college budgets, quick office lunches, and even survival kits during storms. Believe it or not, instant noodles are more than just a cheap, tasty, and convenient meal. They are one of the most widely consumed foods on Earth. Every year, Billions of servings are eaten across the globe, from bustling cities in the United States to remote villages in Asia. Yet, despite their worldwide popularity, few people ever stop to think about what happens inside a factory before that neat little packet or cup lands in your hands. The process is surprisingly sophisticated, mixing science, precision, and a bit of culinary magic. So let's take you inside the journey of instant noodles. From steaming strands of dough to the crispy golden bricks we recognize on grocery store shelves. By the end, you'll not only know how they're made, but also why they've become such an enduring global phenomenon. Once the dough has been mixed, kneaded, and rolled into long, continuous sheets, it's cut into thin strands that resemble the noodles we all know, but at this stage, they're still raw and chewy. To transform them into something that cooks up soft and springy in just a few minutes at home, they first go through a process called steaming. The cut noodle strands are steamed at high temperatures, which gelatinizes the starch in the wheat. This step partially cooks the noodles and gives them that signature springy texture that makes slurping them so satisfying. Think of it as the backbone of what makes instant noodles work. Without steaming, they'd be dense, brittle, and nothing like the comforting bowl you know and love. Now, let's make this fun with a little quiz. Here's a question for you. Momofuku Ando, often referred to as the godfather of instant noodles, is the founder of which famous brand? Is it A, Nissin Foods, or B, Maruchan? Hold on to your answer wheel. Reveal it later. Once the noodles are steamed, they move on to the shaping and cutting stage. This is where they're given that distinctive wavy look you see when you open a packet. The wave pattern isn't just for looks, it actually helps the noodles cook more evenly in boiling water and allows them to fit neatly into packaging. The continuous strands are portioned into individual blocks, usually around 40 to 50 grams each, which is the standard size for a single serving. Each block is carefully shaped, whether for a packet, a cup, or a larger family pack. It's fascinating how uniform every single piece comes out, thanks to the precision of the machines working at lightning speed. Next comes one of the most important transformations: frying. This step is what gives many instant noodles their iconic texture and long shelf life. The noodle blocks are carefully conveyed into huge fryers filled with oil heated to around 140 to 160 degrees Celsius in just 1 to 2 minutes. The moisture inside the noodles evaporates, leaving behind a porous structure that allows hot water to rush in quickly when you cook them at home. That's why instant noodles are ready in just 3-minute sits. Not magic, it's food science. For healthier alternatives, some noodles skip the frying process altogether. Instead, they're sent into massive drying ovens where hot air circulates at about 80 to 90 degrees Celsius. This takes longer, usually between 40 to 60 minutes. But the result is air-dried noodles that are lower in fat, yet still easy to prepare. Once fried or dried, the noodles aren't ready to hit the store shelves just yet. They first need to be cooled down. After all, fresh out of a fryer or oven, the blocks are far too hot to be packaged. Conveyor belts carry them past large fans and powerful air conditioning units, quickly bringing the temperature back to room level. This cooling step prevents condensation inside the packaging, which could ruin the noodles by making them soggy or moldy. At the same time, the seasoning packets are prepared in another part of the factory. These flavoring packets are the heart and soul of instant noodles. They often contain a powdered soup base, a mix of salt, MSG, and spices, sometimes with dehydrated vegetables like carrots, scallions, and corn, or even tiny chunks of meat. Everything is measured precisely to guarantee consistency from packet to packet. Once cooled, the noodle blocks and seasoning packets are paired together and sealed inside their final packaging, whether that's a plastic wrapper, a foam cup, or a larger family-sized pack. Automated packaging machines take care of sealing, labeling, and coding each product with batch numbers and expiration dates, ensuring they're ready for distribution around the world. But before they can leave the factory floor, every batch has to pass strict quality control tests. Samples are pulled from the production line and sent to a quality assurance lab. Here, technicians check for everything from texture and moisture levels to nutritional consistency and overall flavor. Microbiological tests are performed to make sure there are no harmful bacteria lurking in the product. Automated systems and trained human inspectors also look closely for any defects in packaging or sealing. If even the smallest irregularity is spotted, those noodles are immediately pulled from circulation. Only the best and safest products make it to store shelves. This is why you can trust that every pack of noodles you buy will taste exactly as expected. And now, the answer to our quiz. Momofuku Ando, a Japanese-Taiwanese inventor, was indeed the founder of Nissin Foods, established in 1948. His company launched the world's first instant noodles in 1958, and later, the iconic cup noodles in 1971. Ando's invention wasn't just about convenience, changed the way the world eats, providing an affordable and accessible meal that transcended borders. Today, Nissin remains one of the biggest names in the industry, and Ando's legacy lives on every time someone slurps down a warm, comforting bowl of ramen. Instant noodles may seem like a simple snack, but their impact is extraordinary. Beyond convenience, they play a vital role in emergency relief efforts. During natural disasters such as hurricanes, earthquakes, or floods, instant noodles often serve as a reliable food source when supplies are limited. They're lightweight, easy to distribute, and provide quick energy to people in need. Organizations around the world, from humanitarian aid groups to military units, rely on them during crises. According to the World Instant Noodles Association, they're also seen as a potential solution to global hunger thanks to their affordability and long shelf life. In fact, billions of servings are consumed annually, with the U.S. ranking among the top consumers. It's a true testament to how one simple idea, turning wheat dough into quick-cooked noodles, has fed generations and continues to shape the global food industry. So next time you tear open a packet, pour in the seasoning and watch the noodles soften in boiling water, you'll know there's a fascinating story behind every bite. From steaming to frying, from quality control to packaging, the journey of instant noodles is a story of science, ingenuity, and global impact. And maybe, just maybe, that little bowl of ramen on your table isn't just a midnight snack, it's a symbol of how food innovation can change the world.